Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to our channel, and thanks for logging on. If you enjoy these videos, do me a favor and subscribe to our YouTube channel right here at Watchbox Reviews. I would really appreciate it, and I promise to update daily. If you love this watch, you can see it and purchase it on our website, thewatchbox.com. And today we are discussing the Panerai Luminor Submersible 1950 Regatta 3 Days GMT Automatic Titanio PAM 371. That's a mouthful, a big name for a big watch, but the appeal is simple, elemental, and striking. As with every Panerai timepiece, oversized is the look, so this titanium watch, released in 500 pieces for 2011, is a 47mm case. Nevertheless, it wears reasonably secure on my 16cm circumference wrist. I wouldn't recommend wearing it on a wrist smaller than 16 centimeters, but I can imagine it fitting and sitting securely on a wrist as small as 15 centimeters. The watch is thick, no doubt. 18mm thick. This one towers above your forearm, and it's broad. 57mm from lug to lug, although as with most Panerai cushion style cases, Radiomir and Luminor alike, somehow it doesn't feel as large as it is. The timepiece is 26mm between the lugs, and as you can see, it uses Panerai's push button quick release system that spares you from actually testing your skill with a screwdriver against these handsomely finished brushed lugs. You simply press the dimple style release and then you push the bar through. So it's a very secure system, and then when the time comes to swap, it's a very user-friendly system. Bellows style Panerai natural vulcanized rubber strap, extremely supple. You can see the hollows and the channels on the underside to vent the wrist. It is Italian made. It's soft and substantial at the same time, and that's a tough balance to strike when vulcanizing rubber. It features an oversized titanium brushed trapezoidal pin buckle for quick on-the-fly adjustments, and the 1970s style Officine Panerai OP logo. The case band itself is the 1950 case, first introduced on the PAM 127 in 2002. It is effectively a revival of true period-correct Panerai 6152 case bands, which is to say it's a little bit more complex than the Tunican Betterini case of the 1990s. That case is still in production, but this one is considered to be a bit more upscale and nuanced. You have the device protecting the crown, which is far more protective of the crown than a traditional shouldered crown guard. It also uses a locking lever, so as soon as I unlock it, I can turn it, I can set it, I can operate all the functions of the watch. I can independently step that local hour because this is a GMT. You can see that second GMT hand. I can jump the date forward or backwards with no hazard, and then when it's all done, I can close it up. And note that there's a runner bearing inside the cam. Since 2007, premium Panerai Luminor watches have featured that runner bearing to make the action smoother. It's also a wonderful way to guard against accidental submergence while open and unlocked, because this is harder to miss than an unscrewed crown on a conventional screw-down water-resistant system. Plus, the nice thing is, because it does immediately unlock the crown, you don't have to fight against a screwed-down crown that's overly tight. You can easily manipulate that crown with wet, sweaty, or gloved hands. The crescent-shaped guard is a design icon and arguably the symbol of Panerai. The bezel is a diver-style, unidirectional, and chunky. It feels good, it sounds good, and the Luminor Submersible bezel is the industry standard, along with Doxa, for bezel, sound, and feel. Oversized luminescent pearl. You can see that you line it up with the minute hand, skeletonized minutes and hours. Now you've got an impromptu 0 to 60 minute timer. I actually find this is more useful than a chronograph, easier to read, and it doesn't have the downstream maintenance costs of a chronograph mechanism. The dial is matte blue and sensational. This is the Regatta. Since the early 2000s, Panerai has sponsored the Classic Yachts Challenge, and each year Panerai issues a special watch in honor of that event, and this was the watch for 2011. So you have that nautical blue dial with a few light cyan accents on the crosshair style small seconds. You have that second indicator with another 12-hour time. It's not a true GMT despite the name of the watch, because it only has two independent 12-hour time zones. There's no 24-hour indication. You have all applique and polished indices with that SLC style dial with the double index at 12 and the single index at 6. It's a handsome and upscale look for Panerai with a monotone disc. For the date, turn it all over. By the way, I should mention the watch does feature conventional stop seconds with 0 reset. Do you see how the seconds hand jumps straight up to 12, or I guess 60, and zeroes itself automatically? A 0 reset system for precise setting of the watch. Turn it all over and you can see that this watch has a few tricks up its sleeve. Not just that case-back quick release system for the lugs. There's a case-back power reserve for the 72-hour power reserve of this watch, and as it enters the final third of its power reserve, that aperture turns from black to red. 29 joules. It is a 3-day automatic, twin mainspring barrel, automatic winding with ceramic rotor bearings for efficiency and reduced maintenance requirements. It features a free-sprung balance for shock resistance. It's a nicely executed Panerai manufacturer movement. All of this water resistant down to 300 meters, so it is a full-service sports watch. It's a tough movement. It's a large movement at over 37 millimeters in diameter, so it is correctly designed and sized to fit the watch. And you can see the 3/4 style bridge over the barrel, train, and power reserve with the straight graining evokes the pocket watch calibers of the 1930s, 40s, and 50s as used by historic Italian Navy Panerai timepieces. A handsome and properly sized movement, properly engineered for sporting use, tank tough on the outside and inside. This is a handsome and unconventional Panerai Luminor Submersible. See it and make yours on the watch box. Panerai Luminor. This is what Panerai does well. Look at the size of that bezel pearl. Look how every hand, including small seconds on the dial, is fully loomed. Second time zone as well. Handsome, visible, unmistakable. See it on the watch box.